However, there was a natural thing on me that was, in a way, similar to Japanese mentality, which is commitment to a goal, to a dream. And so that was already there on me. So I just push hard that side of me because I like that side of me and I think it's very important for success. And I also realized it was similar to Japanese way. I think yourself and Koto-san represent a particular time of hunger, period of hunger. And after you comes Koto-san, and then after Koto-san, more younger people, which represent a different time of hunger. And even if the commitment was always there, and the wish and the will was there to do that, to do well, naturally the experience aspect always have some impact on some decisions, and therefore it was different. It was very difficult to motivate me to drive. I want to drive, I love driving, but at the same time, technically, I realized that it was almost impossible to compete, not to beat with it, but just to compete with them. So it was a difficult decision to drive again under the circumstances. My heart was always pushing me to drive. My reasoning telling me to be careful and to think careful. But my heart was telling me to do it. And I was conflicting. And in the end, I decided to try to see what I would get as a feeling, as a result. And that happened in February at Silverstone when I first drove the new car. And I felt very strong inside, the will, the desire to drive and to do well, even under the difficulties, to overcome the difficulties, the technical difficulties. I had tremendous push inside to try to do it, knowing that it would be perhaps the hardest season of my whole career. I then decided that I had to try. I had to try for myself, for the team, and for my fans, for everybody. All the reasons, were telling me you must try. You may not succeed, but you must try. And perhaps, you can learn a lot more under the circumstances. And every result that you may achieve will be great result, given the technical disadvantage. So it was then a big challenge. I took it as a big challenge, perhaps the biggest one so far. After having won 3 championships, the biggest challenge I could aim, perhaps, was this type of situation. Thinking about winning. My mind was complete focus on being first, getting first place, the quickest possible. When the start was about to happen, my mind was telling me, okay, you must try to be as far ahead you can, the sooner you can, because I thought and I believe that the initial laps, the competition people would be undecided about pace, how hard, how dangerous, how difficult, so they would be reluctant to go. And if I could be aggressive, particularly in the first laps, perhaps I could make a lot of ground, overtaking and also distance over everybody else. And that would give me a chance psychologically over everybody else, and also in the circuit some distance over everybody to play during the race. It was a mind game. Being wet becomes very slippery, very dangerous to lose cars and go off. So in this condition, everybody was afraid of going too fast, too soon, and make a mistake. So it was an opportunity I had to go fast immediately, without mistaking. It was a gamble. If I mistake, I throw the race away. But it was a gamble to go fast, immediately, being very much alert, so very much conscious of what I was doing. So I could do it precise to a very high level, maximum. Already, first corner, second corner, third corner, first lap, second lap, boom. And that gave me the strength mentally to commit myself to the challenge and overcome that challenge successfully. But in that situation, particularly, my mind was stronger than my body and machine. On the lights on, I was working 100%, immediately, mind and body, everything. Capacity. My capacity was 100%. I was not working 95 or 98 or 99. I was working 100% my capacity. Everything was programmed. Everything was programmed. Yeah, beforehand I already drove in the wet. That weekend I knew the circuit, I knew the car, I knew the conditions. So all the information I had it with me. And I knew that with all that information I had to then just focus and do something that I believe I could do. The wet, with the grip being low, visibility being low, you're never sure if you're going to succeed around the bend, around the corner. So you always have a feeling like, maybe not. Maybe I get through, maybe not. And to work on that situation, it's very demanding. Very demanding. Mind. Very demanding, because your mind is always telling you to slow down. Slow down, for careful, to be more safe. And you have to react to your own mind and say, no, try, okay, I know it's dangerous, I know I have to be careful, I know I have to slow down, but keep going, keep concentration, keep momentum, keep up speed, It's aggression, you have to be aggressive. Not naturally, you have to be aggressive with conscious, knowing what you're doing. Otherwise you make a mistake, you crash easily. You have to know it's a number of different things that together work good. You must have experience, you must have good feeling for car stability, you must have a good feeling for throttle control, brake control. You have to be very fine with all of your actions. Very, very smooth you have to be. But at the same time you have to be aggressive. It's a conflict. You have to be very smooth but very aggressive. Aggressive because of the danger aspect and the feeling of unsafe, but very smooth to control technically the situation. You have to combine. I think to return to the past is not necessarily the solution. You cannot just go back to the past. The world is not safe. You have to find a solution for the moment and for the future. I want to find some other activities other than driving that can attract me, keep me busy, and therefore when I stop driving I have some activities which I like to be involved, I enjoy, and I can carry on my life because my main activity up to date has been always driving. And I'm still very young, and even if I stop driving in 5 years' time, or next year, I'm very young, and I can't just stop and do nothing. I must do some work, I must. We all need to be happy. Doesn't matter if we are Japanese or Brazilian or European or American or African or Chinese. People need to be happy. And people need to be healthy, happy, and people need people. People need love. So I think whatever you do for the future, as a single individual or as a group, as a nation, you need to consider not only your own happiness, your own health, your own needs for love, but also some other people's requirements, needs. And because the world is growing so much that even in different countries it's becoming more and more one single earth. The environment most of the time gets damaged by the development of technology, by the use of technology. On one hand, I think there are two types of technology. The positive development of technology, high technology, which helps the environment, and the negative one. And what needs to be decided and is exactly what is the good type of technology that helps our day-by-day life, also to preserve the nature, and what is the bad one, and stop the bad one. Find a way to stop those bad high technology work. So it's not an easy thing because the economy takes over, the economic aspects take over many times decision making process, which become as a major consequence for the environment. And big companies with politicians and so on sometimes make bad decisions, and they have the power. And only when it's so clear that it's a bad thing that it gets reversed. Otherwise, those underneath people don't see now, and the consequence only comes up later. And it's too late. So that's the danger. That's the danger. The same moment you have to think about the future, you think about not only your own future, but your family or your future children and so on. It's important to think about the future, to consider and try to work for a better future. That's very important. At the same time, you must live well with what you have got now. Try to enjoy and be happy with what you have got. Because certain things are not in your control. And some of those things that are not in your control can be a major disaster without you having an influence. And many things are easy to speak or talk about theories, and then on the practical it's very difficult to use or to do. And you must try. You must try. And in any circumstance, you should try to do the best you can. Sometimes it's good, and it's good enough. Sometimes it's not good enough. Sometimes it's a mistake. But if you try faithfully and in an honest way to do good, that's what you can hope for. If Brazil could, for instance, be partners with Japan, I'm serious. Brazil could become partners in some way with Japan. Japan would have the solutions for one of their biggest problems, which is room, territory. And Brazil would have tremendous help from the culture, from the development level that Japan is, to develop our country better. Because Japan is a huge nation, big number of people, highly educated, and with technology and financial power, economic power. If you use the experience of Japan as a nation to develop Brazil, which is still underdeveloped, huge country, and the experience that has been made in Japan all of those years being implemented in my country would make a fantastic place for living, for producing food, not only for my country but for the rest of the world, and producing all the necessary things that all human being needs. I think now that Japanese people, after having damaged the nature in Japan so much, realize the damage that has been made and the mistakes that have been made, because they had the experience in Japan by doing the mistakes. And I think today there is enough high technology in a good way available to be used in a place that's still not really a good heart. Exactly. The experience aspect, the knowledge factor would help for it to be done right in a new country. Maybe that's just a dream. That is a dream. To say and express my concept, my feelings, my experience, my doubts, my weakness, my strength, freely. And then it's down to the people to understand the good and the bad things about me, and think about it. Success and responsibilities that comes as a result of success, people's expectations from you sometimes are very heavy to cope and to handle. It is an easy thing to lose control of your own destiny, of your own way, to get confused or get push to a different way. And I think I believe that God helps. It's important to keep consistent way of life. It is a source of peace, power, equilibrium, strength, that cannot be found in anything else. It's the belief on what you're doing. And for you to believe strongly in what you're doing, you must be in peace. You must be in equilibrium. So you can feel good. You feel good, you are stronger. You're stronger. You challenge yourself. And all of that with a greater possibility of succeeding. The main difficulty is to understand sometimes why something happens not so good in our life. If we lose a friend or a family member, hurts. And we feel, why it happened to me? Why? So we don't have the capability to understand. Our mind is too small. We cannot understand. And it takes a lot of strength to overcome those situations that we don't understand, that we feel bad, we feel sad, right? And sometime later, a year or 10 years, or that situation may come around and show you a little bit different. That was not such a good thing. That was perhaps a necessary thing. God is not a simple thing to understand and to accept. You either accept or you don't. Not everything can be understood or can be clear in our eyes. The dimension that we live, this is white, this is black, this is brown, this is red. That's the way we are used to see. That's the way we are used to function. And there are many things that you don't see. What is that? It's part of life. Because we don't see, we don't understand. Because we gotta see to understand, or we gotta touch, or we gotta smell. The different ways of sensing. But there are other ways which we are not competent, or we don't have enough knowledge to feel or to understand.